Hi everyone, and welcome to the Wedding Insider series on my channel. This is going to be an ongoing series of interviews conducted over a length of time where I get to sit down and speak to some of my very favorite South Florida wedding vendors to bring you their talents, their story, and why I think they should be a part of your wedding day. Let's do it. My name is Travis Harris, pro photographer and educator, and for today's episode, I'm sitting down with the beautiful Sissi Ceballo, who is an exceptional hair and makeup professional, and I'm very excited to speak with you about your business and learn more about your story. Now, quickly for the viewers out there, I've actually known Sissi since 2011 when I met her at a wedding, and it was love at first sight. No, but seriously, she's one of the best out there at what she does, and I really want brides to understand how important it is to have people like Sissi involved in that all too important and very underestimated getting ready process on the wedding day. So tell me a little bit about kind of your background, where you're from, you know, the schooling that you went to, and sort of how you got started in this crazy wedding industry.
Okay, I came out of Cuba when I was 8 years old, and I went to Dominican Republic. I came when I was 14, and I have a son. I'm happily married, and I tell you a little bit more about me. When I was at that age, I was 16 years old, went to high school here, and I realized that I had a passion for hair and makeup. I started working on a makeup counter, and I instantly fell in love with the industry. It's like, you know, I had the chance to transform someone and make them beautiful and make them feel okay with themselves. To me, that was the best gift ever. You know, it was like a reward. You know, yeah. I felt very connected, and you know, at that moment, I was in high school. You know, my parents were pushing me. You need to study. You need to have you need to know where you're going. And I was completely lost because I felt that I was so in love with the makeup and the hair. But at the same time, you know, they were telling me you need to do a career, you need to be someone, you need to be like your brother. And then that's when something very bad happened to me. I lost my brother, unfortunately, on a car accident. And that really was a turning point to me. Unfortunately, we lost him very young. He was 24, and it was an impact. You know, it was very impact to me because he was my mentor. He was my hero. To me and my family, when we came here to this country, we didn't have no one. He was everything that we had. And he was the person who followed through all the steps. Hey, you need to do this, that. And then suddenly when, you know, I was in the middle of high school, you know, I was going through a lot. He passed away, and that was a very turning point to me. You know, I realized what is life about and how short it is, and that's why you need to do what you love. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do what I love, and I love hair and makeup, and I'm gonna be the best at it.
Yeah, well, good for you. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I can imagine he was a huge support for you, especially at that time.
Yes, he was. It was, you know, a very bad loss, but you know, it teach me a lot. It teach me how to be stronger, how to be a strong woman. You know, it really showed me if he's not here, I need to support my family. I need to be the provider, and I need to show them that I'm capable, so that way they can have a better life in the future. And that's what I did. I struggled a lot. I worked hard a lot for years, and that's when I decided, well, let me educate myself. Let me go to a great school. I went to La Belle Beauty School. I did 2 years part-time, and then I decided to go to a better school. I say, you know what? No. If I'm going to be good at makeup and hair, I need to be one of the best. Yeah. And to do that, you need a great education. So I went to Palm Beach School. They are a very good school here in South Florida. We're very well known. And I followed through the process. I fell in love with the school. Just 3 months before, starting school, I started posting because they really encourage you. Hey, you need to post. At the time, we didn't have Instagram, so it was kind of like tough to promote yourself. We only have Facebook. So I started posting pictures of my work, makeup and hair. Friends started calling me, connecting me through other people. And one day I received a phone call. A friend connected me to another makeup artist in the industry that she was already stable and famous in, and couldn't give me a lot of work. And I started with her. I worked for her for 3 years, and I learned everything about the wedding industry. And because the wedding industry is super different, it's totally different from working on a hair salon. So I learned the basics with her, and then I move on my own, and I say, you know what, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna take the risk, and I did, and it went super well. It went super great, and then I opened my company. I decided, you know what, we're doing so great that let's open a salon, and that's how everything is starting to move up little by little.
That's awesome. No, congratulations. And speaking of that, we're here today in this new salon that you've opened. And so obviously, I know from experience that you offer weddings and you go out on location and you're great in that way. So this new salon, tell me a little bit about this and what's the plan here with the salon? Do you have a team and what do you offer here?
Okay, the plan with the salon was I decided, I said, well, if we do weddings, we go on location. We do all this transformation for women, for beautiful ladies. Why is I don't open a salon? I said a salon is the whole experience. They come in, they get their haircuts, color, manicure, pedicure, anything, wax, eyelashes. And then I can provide them also the makeup and the hair. It's just like a transformation place. They come here and they get transformed and they live happy. And that was my idea with the salon. Then I opened it and I realized, well, these are two completely worlds. We have people that are going to be here 24/7 for the salon, providing salon services. But we also have a team, which is my team from the wedding industry, that they also provide on-location services for brides, for bridal party. It can be commercials, video shoots, anything that is on location. And also here at the salon, we provide anything that is beauty services as well.
Cool. What type of services specifically do you do here?
We do waxing, eyelash extensions. We do manicure, pedicures, haircuts, color services. Anything that is new in the industry that is beauty recommended. And, we need to be on top of everything. So we always offer different type of services to the client.
And I can imagine, too, having the salon space is probably really cool for the wedding clients, right? Because they can come and meet you here?
Correct. Yes. That's one of the things that I didn't have before. I realized, well, people talk to me on the phone, emails, right. But it's not like we can sit down and know each other beforehand. So the client felt obligated to schedule a trial, pay the money for the trial without even knowing me. And then, that was the process. Now that I have the salon, it's different. They can come in. It will be a 10-minute consultation that I offer for free for the clients. They can get to know me. We can talk. I can see their expectations. They can see my expectations. I can explain the process and how is that we make that day special for them. So it's very cool that I actually have my own place that is girly, that people can come and feel okay,
Exactly. No, that's awesome. That's really good. And you're right. I mean, with clients, it is a two-way street, and being able to have them come in and put them at ease and sort of, have a little champagne and kind of go through this. That's really awesome.
Yes, it's kind of like they feel very girly in here. We provide great customer service. We make sure that they have what they need, they get what they need, and that their expectations are completed. We also offer, like you say, mimosa, champagne, wine, tea, so they feel kind of like, girly. They feel special. We try to give them a special treat, right. When they come here. No,
that's awesome. And you're right. I feel a little girly myself today. It's pretty good. Smooth as can be. Speaking of the business in the salon, I know all too well, just as a business owner and entrepreneur, how hard it is. And I know the obstacles I've at least had to overcome. What are some of the things that, have been challenging for you in your business that you've had to overcome over the years?
I think the most challenging one will be finding the correct people to work for you, kind of like the team artists. That was kind of hard. I went through a phase that I was kind of lost. I didn't know how to find the right people, and then I had to learn how to find the right people, how to manage them, how to provide them an inspiration so that way they can stick with you. So that was kind of like the hardest parts.
No, I mean, and believe me, I fully agree. Even for me, just finding like one solid assistant for the years for photography, and it's also hard, I can imagine too, finding people that kind of mirror your brand and yourself and the things that you're passionate about.
Correct.
It can be very difficult.
That's very difficult. It's one of the hardest part, because you need to make sure that they provide as great services as you do in a professional way. They need to be talented. They need to have so many things. Sometimes they don't have everything, and then you have to teach them. You have to train them, and it takes time, and not everybody has the patience to wait and stick with you.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard, but I went through the process. It took me like 4 years to learn and get it through.
Wow.
Yeah.
And speaking of team, how many people do you have right now kind of working?
In total, I think between the salon and the freelancing people will be like 20.
Okay. Wow, great. So obviously, I've worked with you for a number of years out in the field at weddings. And I have my own opinion of you in terms of why I think you're a cut above most of the other people that I've worked with. But in your opinion, from your perspective, knowing your competition, what are some of the things that you feel that you do especially well?
Well, I think it will be the customer service area. I provide a great customer experience. We make sure that we always attend to the phone calls, emails. We are very on top of the planning on the day off, because that's very important. Well,
Sure, yeah.
how important that is. And I think asking the right questions to them, making sure that we plan the day as a production, because it's a special day. You don't want to miss anything. You want to make sure that they're on time, that the photographer can arrive and then they're ready, they're not running behind. So we do a lot of planning, and we do a lot of scheduling, so that way we make sure that the day runs smooth, even if we have people arriving late, even if we need to take a break or anything like that. We make sure that we put all those details on the timeline, so that way we ensure that people are going to be ready on time and that they're going to be satisfied with the work as well.
Great, cool, very good. No, and you're right, that's super important, and being able to kind of plan some of the logistics with the client and coordinate with the other vendors is especially important. And it comes down to just making sure everybody's on the same page.
Correct. And it takes time. And a lot of other vendors out there, they don't have the patience or the time to sit down, call the wedding planner, call the photographer, or maybe, do as many phone calls as you need to do to make sure that you plan the day correctly and that you are going to provide the best services that you can. Also, coordinating the team is very important. We take hours just coordinating who's going to be that day coming, to help me make sure that they're booked on time. Everything is kind of like a production that you need to plan, and you need to be very consistent. And you need to be able to provide also a great customer service to the client, and make sure that they have all their questions answered, because that takes time. Sometimes they call you, they ask you a bunch of questions, and you need to be ready. You need to explain to them the process. You need to let them know our expectations, because sometimes they get lost. They want things their way, and then they don't realize that we do this every weekend, that we know how things can get ugly. And then we guide them. We tell them, look, we should do this because of this, because if not, this will happen.
Right.
And then that's like a human connection right there. I do a lot of human contact, human connection, and I do that because I want to explain to them and follow them through the whole process, so that way they're not lost, and they know the expectations that I have from them and then from me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times I show up on the wedding day and right out of the gate, I kind of introduce myself to the room and the other vendors and the hair and makeup team, and if I haven't worked with them before, it's like this cold kind of silence, and there's this barrier, and it's like, well, do they really know when we need the bride ready? And it's very difficult, and it can be very awkward to kind of like, for me at least as a photographer, to be in that position to say, well, she needs to be ready at 2:00, and I do a tremendous amount of communication with all my clients to manage and help set and illustrate that expectation. And then it ultimately becomes kind of the client that needs to facilitate that with all her other vendors. 100% on board with what you're saying. So speaking of all this, thinking about the average wedding day and the getting ready process specifically, what's like one sort of solid piece of advice that you could offer any bride to help make that beginning part of the day run more smoothly?
I would say listen to the professionals.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna give you everything that you need. I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna arrive at this time, and this is gonna be the first person, the second person. So as long as you listen to the professionals and you follow through, you're gonna be great, because we do this every weekend and we know exactly what can go wrong. For example, one of the things that happens a lot is that bridesmaids arrive late. They, I send a timeline and then they say, oh, I'm going to schedule people by appointments. And I always say, don't do that, please. Just tell them to be there at one specific time, so that way no one is running late. If we're running a little bit behind, we can catch up. You know what I mean? Because it's very important that that you have control on that day. And the only way you can control is everybody's there. And I know it's hard because sometimes, they have a son or they need to pick up something. But it's very important that all the bridesmaids and all the people that are receiving services, that they're on time and in a set time. Let's say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, everybody there, and then we start, because it's like a domino effect. One bridesmaid arrives late, that throw off my schedule already, and then that affects the photographer, that affects the whole day.
Everybody. Yeah.
Everybody. So then it's very important that everybody arrives at the same time, that I provide to the bride that I'm arriving, so that way everybody's ready. Also having a small bridal party, that will be ideal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people go crazy. They have, I don't know.
How many do you think is, how many bridesmaids do you think is just too many?
I think I had one bridal party one time. They were like 15.
Oh, no.
Kind of like a 50, like a quinceañera kind of thing.
Right.
And it was overwhelming. Too many people in one small room. Make sure that they get a good space, so that way everybody's comfortable and people have space to work. That's very important.
That brings up a good point. That's like one of the number one things that I try to tell my brides, on the getting ready day. Find a conference room, find another room in the hotel that isn't like the nice, pristine bridal room for the hair and makeup production to happen. And that way she can leave like the nice room for like the photography, for the detail shots. And then we can do like the kind of the mock-up, like last minute details of the hair and makeup process in like the nice setting, rather than like taking over the whole room.
Yeah.
Because clients will see like they'll get like a nice big hotel room, but then it becomes quickly compromised when they get hair, makeup, all the supplies. And you guys need like the best light too, because you need to see what you're doing.
Correct.
And often that puts you in front of a window, and then we need the space too. So it
gets overwhelming.
It gets overwhelming.
And then time runs fast. So then by the time that photographer arrives for pictures, if everybody's stuck in the same room, then it's kind of hard to us as makeup artists just close our kit, and that takes a lot of time to close and to finish and to leave. And that really is a key factor, because photographer wants to start, and then then everything is like a domino effect. If you don't do, like you say, a separate room, if you have a small space, it's gonna be chaotic at the end.
Yeah.
At the end, the last 2 hours gets crazy, and you don't really enjoy it as you're supposed to enjoy your day.
Right. True. So to wrap this up, I'll tell you, having shot over 300 weddings myself, that without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest pitfall on the wedding day is lack of time, period. Things move so much faster than you think, and creative opportunity can diminish in the blink of an eye. It is absolutely imperative that the hair and makeup process runs smoothly, and that you have people that are truly working together and that are on the same page. If you don't, it will cause a negative time lapse for all the other vendors that are working hard to try and exceed your expectations, and you're going to miss out. Talented people like Sissi and myself, we work very hard to ensure that the best results happen on the wedding day, and we give our clients the tools needed for that result to happen in the form of communication and planning. But ultimately, it's up to you to get the most from what we can offer. Thanks so much for watching. Sissi, thank you so much for your time. Until next time, guys.